Well, hello, everyone. I am in Ocean City, New Jersey, which is where my parents' beach house is. I'm on spring break, though it's freezing. I was just outside on the beach with my dog and almost got blown away out into the ocean, far, far into the ocean, as if I were like a piece of paper. It is like 30-mile-an-hour winds. But I've been thinking about something, and, I thought, I'm just going to quickly leave a little thought for you. I posted something earlier on, I hardly ever get on Instagram and such, but so every once in a while it feels like, oh, this would be a good thing to put out there. And it was a couple of years ago that I read something by a woman named Amy Carmichael. Have you heard of her? She was a missionary in India. She was single. She never married, never had any kids. She cared for these girls that were in the temples there. They were used for prostitution, horrible. And Amy Carmichael felt called to them, and she cared for them up until she died. As a matter of fact, she was buried there. And though she never had her own children, her headstone, which I think in Indian, it is Amma, was on her headstone, but which means mother, and so, or mom. So that's what she was like. Never married and had never had her own children, and these kids she cared for. But I really loved reading things that she wrote. She actually fell at one point, and it was very damaging to her body, far more than she had anticipated when it first happened. And I think bedridden for maybe the last 20, maybe more years of her life. And from her bed, she would write and pray and spend time with Jesus. And so a really neat woman if you want to check her out. But she used this phrase called the disentangled life. And when I read that, you know how sometimes something just stops you, literally, like you relate so much to it and you have to take it in. You have to consider it and wonder about it and sort of let it stir around for a little bit, pray through it even. And that phrase resonated with me because at the time, I would say my life was anything but disentangled. It was entangled. Overcommitments, never being able to say no, no margins, no boundaries, a helper. I'm a 4 on the Enneagram, and when the 4 is unhealthy, they go to codependency. I was doing that. I was unable to define what is love, what is not love, what is helping, what is not helping. And I wanted to walk with Jesus, and I wanted to do kingdom work, and subtly it became an entangled existence, where you don't know who you are anymore. And certainly, though you want to be connected to Jesus, you feel like you're doing more than you are being, if that makes sense. And so I wanted to pose the thought to you, because I think a lot of us live a life that is entangled, overly noisy, too much going into our minds, unable to focus, unable to be present with people, and most definitely unable to be alone and quiet before the Lord, listening for him. And so my encouragement to you is, what has caused me to end up with a kind of entangled life? And what does it look like for me to move towards a disentangled life? Because it is for freedom that Christ has set us free. And we are often pining and striving, and we don't know how to be. We just know how to do. Long list of accomplishments. And even on this break, I'm having a very hard time with not being productive and accomplishing a lot in my day. And so I think the Lord's been kind of bringing this back to me, convicting me. Dawn, do you know what it is to rest? So anyway, that's my thought I wanted to give to you today. What is it that has entangled you? What is it that you need to let go of? Where can you trust God more? Where do you want to learn to be, carve out some margins in your life so that you can know what it means to be quiet and still? It not only benefits your relationship with the Lord, your mental health, your physical health, it benefits your relationships with other people too. So worth thinking about. And look up Amy Carmichael. What a cool person. She actually dyed her skin with coffee in order to fit into the culture more. Really interesting woman, but well worth your time researching. Take care, friends.